Nick Cucci here, Executive Director of the New York chapter of the Recording Academy. Thanks so much for watching part 1 of our conversation with Kevin Liles. We're here to bring you part 2 now. So Tracy, take it away.
Thank you, Nick, and welcome back to my dining room. And I am so privileged to be talking to my pal for over 25 years, Kevin Liles, about 300 and about so many different things. We're going to cover entrepreneurship. And one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about, Kevin, is in this time of COVID-19, how do you sign new artists? I mean, you just signed Lil XL? And how was that? How did you do that? I mean, did you like find him online, or, I mean, we always like, you know, you get the music, you hear the music, and then you want to go and see the artist, and usually you want to see them live, right? So that you can get a real feel for them. We don't have the luxury of doing that. And you guys have been like with a bullet point, like target hit on every artist that you've signed. So, and this guy is no exception. So just walk us through how you do that. Some 300 magic.
You know, listen, I applaud all labels who are able to figure it out. It's not a magic button. It is really in the people business, and no, we can't see them live, and no, some of the artists we can't touch. And to be honest with you, that's been a learning for me. But it's a lot of Zoom conversations. I really don't sign an artist without talking to several people in their camp, whether it's lawyer, business manager, mom, dad, friend, and Lil XL, in his case, spoke to everybody. He was on the phone with his dad, and find out that there's a friend here, even what Moxie from Detroit, the same with him. Oh, this person knows this person. So a lot of that went on, but really what you could get off of Zoom, and again, this might sound weird to some people, but attention span, conversation, is the artist engaged? Can they communicate who they are and what they are? Is it just the music speaking for them, or them speaking for the music? Like, it's things that you learn to look at when having a conversation, but let's negate even all of that. You got to have a fucking hot record. You have to be have to be an artist, not just music, not just a song. You have to have, an idea of, think about whether it's Doug to Gunna down to Keed. Each of them from the YSL camp having something different to offer the conversation around water parks. It was established group of people who found a great artist, but the artist doesn't need you to tell them what to wear. He doesn't need you to tell them, oh, this is a great song. He's so acute to who he is and what he is that it fits well. He just wanted an independent platform to speak through. And whether it's a new artist that we signed, I think we signed 4 to 5. We have done 4 to 5 new initiatives through this time. COVID, any pandemic, any critical environment that you put in should not stop you from doing what you've been put on earth to do. And a lot of times I'll talk about 300 like I talk about my life. It's no way that I was going to allow COVID to stop me from being Kevin Liles. And so there's ways I have to express myself. I'm going to be a smarter person, a better person, a more healthier person, a more in touch person than I was to get to the other side. So as I onboard a new artist in the time of COVID, we have to make sure we're precautionary in some cases about the deals we do. But I think, Rob, one of my partners said to me earlier today, to a whole team, when you start doing stupid deals, you open up the stupid deal box and you get, so we will never do something. And I know I didn't say it the right way, but it's my way. You'll never put yourself in a situation that we're going to do anything that's not 300. There's artists that we could have signed more artists, but there's things that we'll walk away from Think about it. I don't want to do a transactional deal. So it can't just be about money. You know what I mean? My deals are emotional. My deals are family oriented. My deals are about empowering you. So in some cases, you're breaking a cycle in your family, your first generation money, and having a conversation with you about that check, or about this opportunity, or what this means, and taxes and all that. So yeah, the signing of the artist is great. And I think we're signing more than ever, but we also only want people to want to be with 300. I say at the end of every pitch, here's the great thing. If we don't work for you, if you don't feel we work for you, I applaud that, because you're able to make a decision. But the only thing I can promise you is that we'll work hard every day, and through working hard on both sides, we should be able to change some lives. So we're not the label of, oh, we can do this, we can do that. No, I can go to work. And going to work and knowing our reputation, and knowing that we can, with 6 degrees of separation from anybody in the world, I think we've been able to do a great job through this time.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, I applaud you, because, you know, it's in keeping with that vein, because you train your artists, you teach them the business, you train your executives, you teach them the business, and then each one teach one. We have to pass that along, especially for young African-American executives, because we have to look out for each other in this business. And coming around to that is dealing with teaching entrepreneurship in this COVID-19 environment, which is sort of difficult to do, but everything is attainable online now. So how are you dealing with that? You know, because you have always been one to pass on the knowledge, pass on the information. You can't keep it unless you give it away. And that should be your mantra, because you are always giving to your staff and to your artists. So can you speak a little bit about that?
I think entrepreneurship, everybody's not built to worry about the toilet paper, as I say. See, I have to worry about every single thing. But do we have toothpaste in the bathroom? Okay. You know, what candle are we burning today? You know, it's things that I joke. Everybody's not built to worry about everything, but when you put yourself in front of a group of people that you know they work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, my first priority is to them, and I have to teach them not only entrepreneurship, but something that I did growing up from intern to president was entrepreneurship. You can actually be inside of an organization and operate as an entrepreneur inside of an organization,
Like
but the spirit is that it's yours. And so when you hear, you can talk to me about my company, you know, they'll say our company. There's people who own pieces of the company, but every single person, that intern that we hired, I think we got 30% of people who actually are employed were former interns, you know, at our company. We have 50% of the executive team are people of color or female. It's built in order to for everybody to feel like they are entrepreneurs inside of an organization, and that spirit of entrepreneurship comes from us being willing to try anything at any time with anybody, as long as it's for the greater good and greater God.
That was so well said, Kev. It means so much to see young African-American executives and women, because out of the 4 people that you mentioned that got upped at your company, 3 of them were women. So I have to applaud you on that. Yes. I love that.
Trey, you know that, and I know we timed it, but you know, in the history of what we've done from the Def Jam through Warner Music Group to now 300, the backbone of all of it has been strong, independent. Look at what Julie Greenwald's doing at Atlantic Records right now.
Yeah.
You go around with Lauren Wirtz from Instagram now over at United Masters. You go to Felicia Butterfield, who's now at diversity with Recording Academy. You can go through any Gabby Peluso who's running ADA over there. You can go through any of these people and empowering females. I always looked at it as, yes, they're nurturers by heart, but they're necessary in anything that you do based off, they really care. And their passion for what they do, it's something that is unparalleled. It's nothing against guys. We need good guys too, but the right mix of people makes for a great organization. And it's something that I will always keep my eye out for and always provide opportunities, you know, for females.
I mean, it goes back to what Berry Gordy always says. And when he started Motown, he was like, I don't care what, if it's a male or a female, I don't care what color they are, as long as they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
And I can train them. So, but you have just done so much in that arena, and I'm so proud and so honored. We are living in such trying times right now. The election's coming up. The racism across this country has just been unbelievable. What do you think we can do as members of the music community and industry to make a difference and to make a change? And do you think enough is being done?
Well, I want to humanize our industry. I want us to get back to not just saying we're the recorded music business or just the music, we're people. And if you look at and care about the person who is on your digital team or the person who's in your marketing team, and you look at them like a person, one of their cousins might have been in the situation of a Breonna Taylor or George Floyd, or, you know, go down the list. The kid that just, you know, it happened a day ago. You know, you never know. So the humanization of our business will help in us not just looking at what can we do as a business, no, what can you do as a person? And I told my team, I said, guys, social justice is not something you do for a moment. It's the way you live your life. And so, and I remember, you know, we lived through Rodney King, the Rodney King era. And, you know, whether it was NWA that said F the police or was it Flavor Flav that said 911 was a joke, or whether it's Trey with How Many Times or Little Baby with The Bigger Picture. The reason they can say that art, James Brown, Black, any of these things, songs that came, What's Going On, any of these songs that have come, they come from a place of you being a human being. And when you're a human being and you humanize your way of life and you humanize your business and you humanize your art, that is the way to a better world to me. And it's what we need to get back to. And it's even, you brought up, what paused me, and, you know, I've been marching and, you know, on the front lines the whole time for equality and things. What bothered me is that I'm not in the checkbox business. So you can't write a check and say, oh, I did this. You know what I mean? This is why you'll see my people on the front line. And when I say the front line, I don't mean everybody's not protesting. You know what I mean? Although half the company protests. I'm expecting you to humanize what you do every single day. So don't tell me you want me to give a charitable donation to an organization if you're not on the front line of the organization. You know, don't put it, you know, maybe you didn't hear a grown ass man cry out, I can't, and cry for his mother. Maybe you didn't hear that. Maybe that doesn't affect you as a record guy or a record girl or a music business, something. But as a human being, it affected me. And so to me, get back to the humanization of what we do. And there's a responsibility of what our parents said to us, creating a better world, providing more. And what the internet has done, technology has said, what has been happening for hundreds of years will now be televised. You know, Chuck said it best, the revolution will be televised.
Last poets, yep.
And so now you see that is clear. And unfortunately, it's not just through one death. It's not just through those deaths. It's still happening as of yesterday. The system is broken. Systemic racism, policing. And again, I have a lot of great friends that are police officers, but they're the good ones. But when you have an organization that's built around, we're here to do a certain thing to a certain kind of people, that means the system is broken. And so as we go through this process of figuring out what's next, I had a conversation with a couple of kids, and I said, guys, the reason why voting is so important, you can't vote for the chief of police. It's not, you don't, that the mayor says who the chief of police is for your city, but you can vote for the mayor. You can vote for the council. There's so many people around that you don't even know because you think it's just about the president of the United States. And there's so many ways to affect your organization. And I remember speaking to Shadow, and he said, Kev, man, after you gave me that speech, man, I wanted to know who my councilman was. And guess who I'm going to have coffee with? Guess who I'm going to church with? It's moments, teaching moments like that where you show them the actual reality of what their life is supposed to be when you claim to be a social justice or a freedom fighter or even a man or a woman. You know, to get back to the human part of it. So the last thing I'll say around the elections, the upcoming elections, there's some very critical elections that are coming up, Senate-wise, congressional-wise, and of course the president of the United States. I'm a big Joe Biden fan. I'm a big Camilla fan. I also look at it like experience-wise. You want me to vote for somebody that was on an apprentice show that already showed me for 4 years what he thinks about our country and thinks about our people against a guy who served an African-American as a president, was in every meeting to the last day, who served in the Senate for, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, so, you know, who served. And now he's the first one to have courage enough to say, I'm going to have an African-American woman as a vice president. So you asked me to choose and how important the vote is. Well, you see what happened when you didn't vote. I always knew after Barack that, my grandmother said it best, 94 years old, never voted, but for Barack. And she said, I can't believe there's a black man in the White House. That's enough for me to go walk and do it. And so now you ignited a certain group of people that voted. So now then we got lazy and said, oh, we're 8 years. And so now, you know, it's an insightful movement around whatever that was, or we want to go left here. What I think we have now is an opportunity to centralize and humanize even politics, because it has to get back about the people. And if we don't get there, no justice, no peace. And I'm telling you, no justice, no peace. If we don't get there. So I'm encouraging everyone to get out and vote locally, get out and vote. More importantly, get out and vote. I don't care what it's for, who it's for, and don't just take yourself to vote. Imagine with all the protests that we've done across the country, what if we did that on voting day and we all voted? Come on, so there's a, and I'm sorry I get emotional about it, because I don't want to be in an industry that's not awoke. I don't want to have people working and thinking that the greatest thing they do was that marketing plan, or the greatest thing that they did was get that record on a playlist. I want to have people, and I want to inspire a whole culture of us that we have a responsibility to think as a human first, and to use what we have for the greater good and greater God.
Oh, so well said. Amazing. Any closing thoughts? I know one thing was like about YouTube and how YouTube could better serve the registration drive was one of the things that I wanted to ask you about as well.
Well, you know, I'm not employed by YouTube.
I know, but you have a friend there.
But I have some friends there, and one thing that I could tell you from the conversations that They're an investor of ours. From the conversations that I've had with the music team, and you know, what's funny, when everything happened and everybody became awoke, they invited me to actually speak to the whole music team around the world.
Wow.
This is an ongoing thing with music, and now has become an ongoing thing throughout the organization, where we all are figuring out, you know, how do we inspire people to look at voting as a necessity, not as just a privilege. You know, it can't be something that just because we fought for it, we got it, that you don't do it. It's a life or death decision. It's not just, again, it's not just checking the box. This is a life or death decision, and every vote counts. So whether it's, you know, YouTube, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Instagram, I've had conversations with my peers and people in those organizations to say, I want you to think, as much as your playlist is important, that vote and you giving people time. People have the day off with me. That day is not just about them going to vote for that 1 hour and then for the next 24 hours or 23 hours working for me. No, that day is for you to call your aunt, your grandmother, to go pick your one that could drive up to go. That day is a day that your mindset is about voting and gathering as many people as you can, because the taste of victory, when we do vote, again, I believe if we vote as a people, if America votes with their heart, then we'll have a new president and a new vice president in the White House.
Thank you, Kevin. This was just amazing. I love you so much, my friend of 44 years. Is there any closing thoughts for you on anything else that we may have like just touched on, or you wanted to expound on? Or
no, I'll close by this. In 7 years, we've been able to accumulate 45 billion streams. And I wanted to say, through all the number ones and through, you know, the diamonds and the golds and platinums and everything, what inspires me the most and gives me energy to wake up every day is that our culture has become the number one music in the world. And with being number one comes a responsibility, though. Now that, you know, people are consuming our music in that way, and they're peeking around the culture, and now all colors of people are coming together around this music, I want everyone to think about the influence that we have. Maybe we will be televised this year. Maybe we won't be on the side. Maybe there's an opportunity for us not just to perform, but to own in a way that we've never owned before. So while we're here, and those 45 billion streams, and whether a person did it twice or 3 times, I want to affect as many people as I can with this message. And I touched on it, but I want to make sure you're very clear. This was purposeful. God said, the world, sit down. Y'all going crazy out here. Y'all doing too much, too fast. That we need to get back to the simple things. Like, you guys are kids are sending a text to their parents to say I love you instead of calling them and going to see them and tell you I love you. Mm-hmm. You got people not caring. They're caring more about the dollar and what the person can do for them instead of what they can do for the person. So God set everybody in a way that has not happened in a very long time. So then he said, on top of that, I'm going to make y'all come together, because I think y'all don't know if y'all understand that the disease it affects everybody. It's not just disproportionately affects people of color. But what hasn't disproportionately affected people of color? So you go through from the pandemic to now social justice, and America's woke right now. But we won't get to the other side if we don't prepare ourselves and realize these are our biblical times.
Yes.
And we have to
Absolutely.
we have to work harder, we have to be smarter, and we have to be healthy enough for whatever challenge he puts
Before us.
and so I wanted to leave you with that mode. Getting to the other side is important. I appreciate you. You know me since I was an artist. And it's been a long time. We won't say that, won't say how long, but I appreciate your many transformations as a woman. I appreciate the fact that your organization would in the chapter would have me have a conversation with you, and hopefully we can do more of this more time, because again, my goal is to humanize the music business.
Kevin Liles, you are just a force of nature, and I am so blessed to have known you for as many years as I have, and to have had you in my life and in my career. I appreciate you so much. And the work that you guys do at 300 is just outstanding, because my favorite artists are all coming from your label. So all of the people that I'm listening to have been like 300 artists, whether it be the Migos or Megan, or it's just great artist development. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really, I love talking to you.
Appreciate it. Listen, I want to take credit only for being a good human, and I believe Meg Thee Stallion, the Thugs, the Gunners, my good friends at QC, who now the Migos are there. I think that we just provide opportunity for great art to be seen. Like, to me, so I don't want to take credit for anything other than being a good human being, and I really appreciate everything. And this platform is great, and it's therapy for all of us. So it's good to hear where you're
Yeah. Okay, Kevin, but you know what? It's not, anybody can sign an artist. It's all in the presentation. And 300 does the best presentation job out there. So I'm going to give you that and make you stop saying, oh, it's not just that. It's, stop being.
I'll tell you what, Tracy,
you can be humble. You can be humble, but I'm not going to be humble. 300 is the bomb.
All right. Thank you. I really appreciate it. God bless you.
God bless you too.